If you're a senior pastor, executive pastor, staff pastor, or maybe you're a ministry leader or ministry director, I would like for you to consider this one idea. Do people drain you? Have people drained you? Have you ever thought this out loud? People issues in particular, are draining me. Now, I've heard this from other folks before that are involved in church and ministry, and they've said the issues in ministry, the people issues, they're simply draining me. What kind of issues? Conflict, resistance, and difficult tasks, particularly centered around people development, people administration. Well, you're not alone. Many senior pastors, staff pastors, executive pastors, and ministry leaders have struggled with the very same thing. Notice this statistic based on research. 74% of pastors experience conflict in their churches. 74%. That means if you are serving people as a pastor or in some type of ministry context, you are experiencing conflict, regular conflict. So you're not going to escape conflict. Sometimes people think, well, if I take a job in the ministry, I won't have conflict because everyone's going to practice the one another's on staff and it's going to be great. We're never going to have any issues. You know that's not true. People are people, as they say, and not everyone is walking in the Spirit every single day. So this is part of the reason why 74% of pastors say they experience conflict in the ministry and in particular in their churches. Common triggers are the following: resistance to change. Just raise your hand if that's you. Yes, Marcel, that's me. The conflict I'm having with people in my church is resistance to change. There are some things we need to do, but some people are bent in their ways. They're stuck on how we've done things for so many years. They don't want to do anything new. Well, you're not alone. There are others just like you. Or leadership disagreements. Leadership disagreements. And sometimes these disagreements begin to affect the unity of the church that we know is worth fighting for. But disagreements build, and we don't always have the best approach in how to manage these disagreements, how to have healthy spiritual conversations where people can share and talk and agree to disagree and move forward. And the other thing is personal attacks. Personal attacks. How many times have you as a pastor received a text message or a phone call or an email or a letter, or maybe it's a connect card, and someone has taken it upon themselves to just vomit on you, unload, tell you how they really feel about you and about your leadership and about your decisions. And boy, it's costly to be a pastor, to be a ministry leader. It's like you're taking one for the team, you're taking one for the flock, you're taking one for the body of Christ. You're not alone. Many leaders face this very same thing. But notice the next one. Conflict is the leading factor in pastors leaving roles. Conflict. I found that to be quite astounding. Conflict. You have a conflict with someone on staff. You have a conflict with a church member. You have a conflict with someone in the community of your church who's very influential, and that conflict is not resolved. And then eventually the pastor decides it's better for me to leave and get out of the way because this conflict is not going away and we're simply not finding a resolution. How sad is that? How sad is that when a pastor leaves because they can't manage, they can't work through a conflict in a way that is healthy for the church body? Pastors, this is really important. Pastors lack frameworks. What's a framework? A framework is a template. A framework is a guide. Just like when you and I learned how to preach, we established a framework, a biblical framework to help us work through a passage to really understand the meaning and the cultural context and the historical context and and all of these things. Well, when we work with people, we have to establish frameworks for our conversations, for working through challenges, for making disciples, for developing leaders. So pastors, they lack frameworks to navigate conflict without avoidance, burnout, or relational damage. Now, here's the reality. We know what the New Testament says about approaching a brother who is in sin and unrepentant sin. We know those steps. But what happens when there's no particular sin, but there's a conflict, there's a disagreement, and how do we handle that in a biblical way, in a way that we can empower people, in a way that we can really make the most of relationships? Well, there's a new way to lead hard conversations without, this is key, without losing your people or yourself. There it is. There's a new way to lead hard conversations without losing yourself, without losing your people. And it's essentially a leadership skill. You remember when Jethro told Moses, Moses, what you are doing is not good. He shot straight with his son-in-law. Listen, what you're doing and the way that you are leading people is not good. No bueno. It's not good at all. You need to do things differently. What am I proposing to you? If you want to help your people grow and thrive, if you want to empower more leaders, if you want to do a better job of making disciples and accomplishing the Great Commission, you as a pastor, you as an executive pastor or senior pastor or ministry leader, you have to learn new leadership skills. There are leadership skills that are essential to help you to become the person God designed you to be. I believe one of those leadership skills that we see even in the New Testament is the skill of coaching others. I serve as an ICF accredited level 1 coach education provider. And what I would like to do is invite you into a conversation. There's no pressure, there's no deadlines. It's simply a conversation to see if becoming an ICF certified coach is the right fit for you and your leadership development. You don't have to grow as a leader by yourself. And sometimes you and I know some of the best conversations we have, some of the best training we receive is outside our normal association of pastors or ministry leaders, something totally new, totally outside the box, puts us in a different area, brings us into a new level of discomfort to challenge us and grow our skills. That's what I'm inviting you to consider. I'm inviting you to consider not to remain conflicted with people issues, but to take a step forward to help you serve people better. What I would like for you to do is text the phrase ICF Coach to my personal cell phone, 786-554-0312. That's it. Just text the phrase ICF Coach to 786-554-0312. We'll get on the phone or a Zoom call, whatever works better for you. We'll have a conversation, an open conversation of some of the challenges that you're facing or maybe your team is facing, and how coaching and coach training specifically can help you and your team take steps forward and work with people and develop people and empower people better. As an executive pastor, I've been where many of you are today, and I'm certain I can help you grow in your leadership and help you to empower your people better for God's glory and to accomplish the Great Commission.